Yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Party Podcast, where we bring you all the hottest sports takes with lifestyle and cultural impact. It's your boy D-Lamp.
Hey, it's your boy Melo.
Yo, it's your dog Huncho.
Sound. It's your boy Jay-Tay.
Hey,
bro, that versus had me lit. That versus had shout out to Timberland and Swiss Beats. I had to touch on that because that was a good verse. I had basketball on and I had the verses on. It was really good.
Yeah, I tapped in briefly too. When I was tapped in for that little bit of time, I was definitely vibing with it, buddy.
Yeah, man.
So how everybody feeling? How y'all boys feeling?
I'm good, man. I ain't got no complaints on my end, man. Staying busy, bro. Staying busy, man.
Bro, I'm good too. Just enjoying all the topics, bro. We got a lot in store again, bro.
Stuff just be coming through.
We would remember back at the beginning when we was still in the headset. We was worried about the summer. This how the summer gonna be?
Hey, ain't got nothing to worry about.
We got topics for days. We trying to skim the fat off of them. Golly.
Keep these episodes rolling. I know we on like number 12.
Oh yeah, that's my number.
12.
Yes, sir.
12.
Keep these boys rolling. Keep them going.
Yes, sir.
So,
you ready to kick it off?
Let's get
it. Let's hop into everything. I'm ready.
All right. Well, for those who have been paying attention to the media lately, the tennis star Naomi Osaka, she's going through some things right now, as far as some backlash she's receiving for her deciding to withdraw from the French Open. With her stating that I think the initial situation was she didn't want to speak for the media for like an interview after the game. She's receiving some backlash for that. She went out publicly and let people know that she was having some mental health issues. So she's been receiving some backlash from that. And, response to that, the tennis, they decided to fine her $15,000 for her doing that. So just want to hear y'all thoughts on this. Do y'all agree with how they went about it? Just what's y'all takes on it. Let's hear from Jay-Tay, what you got? Let's hear from you first.
All right. Well, first and foremost, prayers up to Naomi. We at the party hope you did well. We definitely wish you the best. But I honestly, man, it's super conflicting because like. What people fail to realize is, a lot of times people equate happiness with like money or with fame, you know what I'm saying? And that's not the case, you know what I'm saying? And more so, especially for minority athletes, they're always looked upon to be role models and, to carry such a heavy load in the grand scheme of just like the world, you know what I'm saying? So I completely understand it. That she needs a break. So I don't agree with how they went about it. Now we all understand that everything in life is basically a business, and tennis is no different from football, no different from basketball. But what like people have to understand is like these athletes and they're always in the spotlight, you know what I'm saying? And that can be extremely overwhelming, So I'm in support with Naomi, you know what I'm saying? And I think, I just think we just need to take a deeper look into mental health. One of our first shows, when we first started off the party, we were talking about mental health, you know what I'm saying? Indeed. So that's something that's important to us, so we got to have that same compassion and understanding to these athletes. I mean, my thing is like, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird in a way because like people are always like, oh, you got to talk to the media. But I mean, even with like Twitter and Instagram, like people are always in these people's lives. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that the media needs athletes to talk to them and everything. But I mean, like I said, have some compassion. Cut her some slack, man. People don't always want to talk and always be readily available. You know what I'm saying? And we need to be more mindful of that, especially like when she doesn't shy away from the media. She doesn't shy away from standing up for minorities, for women, you know, for black people, because I think she's mixed with Chinese as well, if I'm not mistaken. But if I'm got that wrong, the minorities over there as well. So I'm in support of Naomi, and I'm interested to see what Melo got to say.
If all you see
is what you see, then you even looking at her post, right? She stated that she suffered a long bouts of depression since the U.S. Open in 2018. So this is something that, and once again in the post, you can find the Twitter post at Naomi Osaka on her Twitter. It wasn't that she didn't even want to play. She wasn't trying to do none of that. She just didn't want to talk to the media because of her own her mental health issues. So for the response that the backlash, the negative backlash, I guess I'm struggling to understand that. It like you said, Jay, mental health needs to be taken more seriously, not only by those who aren't making millions of dollars, but by everyone, right? Like, how are you, money doesn't equate to mental health, right? Like, exactly. It doesn't equate to you having a positive or a good mental health. So, if anything, with the old saying is more money, more problems. You know what I mean? But the normal person, for whatever reason, struggles with that when it comes to talking about mental health with these athletes. You know, just because, you know, you make a bunch of money, you're supposed to be, what are you mad about? And it's like, well, I'm making money because of my talents, and solely my talents, right? Like, I'm not, that's it. Like, just like everybody else, they're still human. Every human has certain issues that they have to go through. Why? Because we're human, right? So, saying all that to say, I'm with you, Jay. I'm with her. I'm siding with her. Obviously, big name people are starting to come out. Kyrie Irving came out in support. Ward Ellis came out in support. Obviously, I think Daryl probably would touch on a little more. The French Open has came out and made a statement. I just think, and we were kind of talking about it off air, that they did a good PR move. They did what they had to do, but I think we need to start. The culture should be starting to be challenged, right? Kyrie started doing it in the NBA, not talking to the media and just taking the hit on the fine. Obviously, Naomi is speaking out against having to talk to the media as well. I think it's something that we start trying to, really reconsider how we go about the media and exactly how the media, their role and impact on what these athletes have to deal with. Man, if you think about the media, just some of these journalists and media in general have just been under fire a lot lately, just in regards to, granted, they're just trying to do their jobs, but I think it's an overarching issue with how the media goes about it, and more so because of social media, honestly. But, it
just happened in baseball, too. It just happened in baseball as well, about one of the players, about his do-rag, and one of the announcers said something that was, was really frowned upon amongst the baseball world, the fans, you know what I'm saying? So, like you said, man, gotta start having some conversation.
Yeah, seriously, we need to start holding it the same way players get held accountable by these media critics and everyone else. Like, there needs to start being continuing to make sure that everyone's being held accountable the same way these players are, the same way these players getting reported on. So, D-Lamp, let me hear it from you, man. Let me hear your thoughts on this.
Bad. I like what you brought up, the points you brought up, and I'm just going to expand on some of those points because I think we're on the same page. So, first of all, I know we give our praises to Naomi, and hopefully she's dealing with whatever she's dealing with, and hopefully she gets better. But like Melo said, I feel like a lot of the things that are happening are because we want full access all the time, which we do not need. And then also on top of that, Melo made a good point about the media. I feel like with social media, a lot of the people in the media, especially the bigger names, are getting a lot more. They're getting a lot more publicity. They're getting a lot more views. They're getting a lot more money because sports are becoming more and more accessible with social media. So they're getting more and more of a crowd. So with that, so are media people. So I feel like a lot of the media people believe that, oh, these athletes have to talk to us because we're important as well. like they're almost like trying to put themselves on their stature to where the athlete is at. We're doing our job. We're important. You have to talk to us. But we need to stop dehumanizing the athletes. And I know, and I don't mean that in like a bad way, like treating them like animals or nothing like that, but we hold these athletes to a high standard. A lot of them are role models, and we look at them as beyond human beings. Like Melo said, every human being has to deal with something in their life. I know we want full access to their lives, but unfortunately we do not have that luxury of having full access to our favorite celebrity. So we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. We don't know what they're dealing with. So when she says she doesn't want to talk to the media because she's dealing with stuff that's mental health wise, we shouldn't question that. She shouldn't get backlash. People call off from work all the time. And it's not even like she didn't do her job. She just didn't want to talk to the media at that time. So we got to stop dehumanizing athletes because we love them and we put them on pedestals. They're still human beings. And also, like Melo was saying, like the French Open, they backtracked because she decided she wasn't going to play. And that also caused a lot of movement and a lot of shake. So you can't be on the bad side of a mental health issue or something like that or anything like that. So you know you're going to backtrack and then, of course, support her and her cause. But I feel like you boys both made a lot of good points, and I definitely agree with you guys, and I'm on her side as well. It's not that important. I just feel like as long as they do talk, as long as they're like talking, because the same thing happened with Kyrie. Like he needed a mental break, and then he got criticized for it. He got scrutinized because he didn't want to talk to the media. And he used pawns and stuff like that, but I wouldn't, like, I understand that he wasn't messing with the media at that time because of, like I said, how they approach things and feel like they have to, like, they deserve an interview from whoever it is. And of course it's always the big stars. If it was somebody coming off the bench and they didn't want to talk to the media, they wouldn't care. So, like, it shouldn't be a double standard because it's a superstar that needs a break from the media or just wants to go and relax after a game. So I'm with you boys. I feel like it's some stuff that needs to be changed in in the media realm of things. And we gotta be more understanding when it comes to other human beings. Like, put yourself in their shoes. But go ahead, Huncho.
Facts, yeah. I definitely agree with every single one of y'all. I'm gonna be brief too, cause y'all pretty much just hit the nail on the head in every single aspect. Naomi, Osaka, I hope everything's okay. Whatever it is you're going through, I hope you pull through. Stay strong throughout this situation. As far as the situation at hand itself, I was watching ESPN and I heard somebody on there say, pretty much they recited a quote, and the quote was, "If all you see is what you see, then you do not see all there is to be seen." So basically, what I took from that is professional athletes are in the entertainment industry. The entertainment industry is at the forefront of all influencers in our world. So with that being said, they're going to be seen. They're the most seen throughout, any profession. They're always on TV. They're always at the forefront of every single platform. So anytime we see them doing something, it's always physical. Now, yes, that's understanding, and we see them physically doing things, but it takes this in their head for them to perform at their highest level. Mental injuries are just as important as physical injuries. If I get hurt and let's say I messed up my leg or something, and I got a sore on my leg or whatever, I messed my leg up. I have to do things to get myself back to 100% to fully be able to do what I was doing beforehand. Your brain is the same way. If you go through something, whether it be hurt, whatever the case may be, you have to give yourself time to heal from that, however you need be. If it's hurt, having to step away from the media and the post-match interviews, then that's what she needs to do. And the only thing the French Open should do in that case is accept that. And especially since he let y'all know what was going on, y'all could at least have the respect to, respect her and what she has going on, and acknowledge the fact that she came to y'all transparent and let y'all know what she had going on. I feel like by them finding her, that's kind of basically them saying, like, it's not okay. Like, you're not able to, have these mental problems. You're not able to, go through anything simply because, you're an athlete. You're supposed to always produce. You're supposed to always perform at your top level. Like, that's not the case. Like, they're human beings at the end of the day. Their brain works like every single other person in this world. So they deserve that respect also in that aspect. And as far as the French Open, letting their statement out, like everybody else, all the boys said on here, they're just doing that to cover themselves. I feel like, they already played their card. So now that they're in this situation, they have to backtrack and make themselves look better. So, of course, they're going to release that statement. So I didn't feel any genuine, connection to what they said. Like I said, I just feel like it's them covering themselves. But Naomi, I hope everything's okay. Whatever it is you're going through, and the Party Podcast is behind you 100%.
Of course.
Real quick, can I offer one little take?
Go ahead. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Isn't it interesting how like the modern media is almost based on like the outlook on these players are basically created and formulated by these media critics, right? So I think we spoke on it before. I mean, for example, remember the Draymond Green run into the car and crying and calling KD, which is a complete fault. Like, it's not even nothing never happened even close to that.
It's a false narrative.
Draymond and KD have been on a podcast together and said this is false. And then you wonder why the people in the NBA, people in all these different athletes don't like the media or don't want to talk to the media. Right? Because they're going to do what they're going to do anyway. These dudes done came out and said this ain't true. Yet you can still hear this narrative from the people who created it themselves. They don't care. It's just opinion based. So, saying that to say, I can understand why some of these people, Kyrie, and especially a Kyrie situation, like you said, calling them pawns and everything, because he understands y'all gonna do what y'all gonna do anyway. Y'all gonna pay me off to be a bad guy anyway. You know what I mean? Like you said, how does that affect, or how does that, you know what I mean? If you're an athlete, that weighs on your mental health. That I'm getting judged based off of not even my own actions.
Exactly.
I'm getting judged off of stuff that these people's opinions of me are. You know what I mean? So just to add one last little piece to that. Good topic though, fellas.
Yeah. That's
a good topic.
Very articulate. And I was just saying, everybody was very articulate and being open about it. I thought it was an excellent conversation.
Yeah, y'all all had some great points, man. I just hope the world is able to, see it how we see it and understand that, you got to put yourselves in these people's positions so you truly understand, what they're going through. So,
facts. Well, let's keep the ball rolling, fellas. Like we said, we got a lot to talk about. So what we're going to touch on next is there's been a few retirements that's been announced for some high-profile people in the sports world. Excuse me. Huncho, how you say Coach K name?
Chris Zawinski.
Well, everybody knows the famous Coach K. The famous Coach K is going to retire after this season. Just for the people who don't know, Coach K owns a 1,170 win to 361 loss record in 46 years at Duke. He had 5 national championships, 91, 92, 01, 2010, and 2015. He has 6 gold medals as the head coach of the U.S. men's national team. He has 67 NBA draft picks, including 41 first-round picks, and countless other accolades. And then also, Danny Ainge is actually going to step down from being the GM and the head of basketball for Boston. And he started there in 2003. We know Danny Ainge is a Hall of Fame basketball player. He's most famously known for getting the Big Three together in Boston and then winning the title in 2008. And he's been to countless Eastern Conference Finals as a GM as well. So, fellas, just give me your opinion, man. Just, how you feel about the retirements, any thoughts or praises that you want to give him. Let's just chop it up about it. D-Limp, let's start with you, man.
All right. So I feel like this is huge just because. All right, let me start off with Coach K. Like you listed off his resume. Like, he's an amazing coach. And what a lot of people don't understand, coaches bring, how can I say this? What's the word? I'm blanking right now. They bring a culture. There we go. They bring a culture into your team. Yeah. I don't know why I blanked on that. But they bring culture. So what Coach K did was bring a winning culture to Duke. Like, you can have like the best equipment. You can have a great money that's backing your team. But if you don't have a good coach, what are you guys going to accomplish? Especially at like a level like that when it's college. You still need that leader as your coach to help you get to where you need to go. So I feel like him retiring is like a big thing for Duke, because now you need to find somebody who's at least going to bring culture to your team, because you see it in the NBA. There's a lot of teams that don't have the necessary culture to win when it comes to being in the big moments. So I feel like that's like, coaches are definitely a big part. So for him retiring, I'm glad he's made his name and he's made all of these great accolades and did what he had to do. And I'm glad he's retiring at a good spot in his career. But that is definitely a big impact to Duke. Now, when it comes to Danny Ainge, I feel like that's also a big impact, because he was the head of operations of basketball. Like, he made all the moves, and Danny Ainge has made some great moves during his time in Boston, but he's also hesitated many times to pull the trigger when he could have got some good stuff. Like, they could have had AD
and Harden.
They could have had a lot of stuff and chose not to. And like, you see where they are right now. So I also don't know with this promotion of Brad Stevens. I don't know. I feel like, see what's out there. Brad Stevens is a great coach, but I don't know what he's gonna do, like running the show. So, like, I feel like these retirements do make a hefty impact on their prospective teams or whatever the case may be. But I feel like Boston could definitely do something to to help their team with. I don't know. Boston they're definitely interested. I want to see what they're gonna do in the future, especially looking for this next coach they're gonna bring in, and seeing what Brad Stevens is gonna do, like holding the reins. But I'm gonna pass it to Huncho. Your take, what's going on?
Yeah. So just to focus on Danny Ainge real quick. Like Lamp said, he's been there for a while. had some opportunities to get some better picks, but he did bring Jason Tatum there, Terry Rozier, a couple good guys that are still in the league today playing and having a great career. Just with him being there for so long, like for him being the head of operations, he was kind of the overseer of all the the decisions that were made in the franchise. So, just having him leave, it's a situation where you just kind of got to start over. Luckily for them, at least they're getting a coach that kind of has experience with working in the franchise already. With Brad Stevens being, he was the head coach already before, wasn't he?
Yeah.
At one point in time. Yeah, so
he's the fourth most winningest coach, head coach in Boston. He just didn't win that title.
Just with him, I'm tripping. I don't know why I said it, but just with him, at least having somebody that was already in the system to take over, it kind of gives you some sense of hope simply because with Brad Stevens being there when Danny Ainge was there, he was probably able to learn some things from Danny Ainge and kind of watch how he works. So he's able to take some of his tactics on to when he becomes president and kind of able to make some of those decisions. As far as Coach K, man, when you was reading them accolades off, Jay, there's some heavy hitters, man. Coach K is the greatest college basketball coach of all time. Oh, we got to cut that out. Coach K is the greatest college coach of all time. Just with all the accomplishment he was able to bring while at Duke. I kind of, in a way, I feel sorry for him just because you have a coach there for that long and now you completely, literally have to start from square one. Like Lamb said, the culture of Duke is set off their basketball team. Duke is not the school they are without their basketball team. You can try to make their football team as great as they are. You can try to make any other team as great as they are at Duke. It ain't going to be the same without their basketball team. So the fact that their school is very dependent upon their basketball team and Coach K built that up, now they're going to have to kind of start backtrack and start over. This is going to mess them up within the recruiting process probably because you probably had some heavy hitting recruits that wanted to come play under Coach K. Now that he mentioned that he's retiring, those recruits might fall off. Like Duke gonna go through it. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, it's a setback for sure.
Yeah, so but hats off to Coach K, man. Hell of a career. And I just wish him the best for what he has yet to come. So, Melo, what you got?
Shout out Coach K. was a fan of Duke. When I started watching college basketball, outside of that Illinois team with D. Brown and all those guys, Duke was a team that I gravitated towards. Just enjoyed watching this style of ball.
Coach K.
Obviously, with watching Duke, you got to enjoy a lot of wins. So definitely enjoyed Coach K's time at Duke. Similarly with both of the, as fellas said before,
Coach K.
Being a culture now, whoever the coach that comes in, they have to recreate a culture.
Well, got some big shoes to fill.
Yeah, like you got to create, but it can't be like a continuation of Coach K. Like you got to be his own culture now.
Mm-hmm.
Coach K is a one of a kind. Some people call him the GOAT, and I won't disagree.
It's one-on-one.
Yeah, it's a one-on-one. So you don't come back and recreate that. Now you just try to bring in a culture. Maybe try to get some fresh perspectives and everything else in there and see what you can do. So hats off to Coach K. Hopefully, I think he said the reason was something along the lines of family and just trying to enjoy more time with family. So
yeah, he's 74. He's 74.
Whatever his next endeavors are, shout out to Coach K. Next. So we shout out Flyyr Pop, man. That was Huncho. Even Huncho too. Shout out both of them. Shout out to Anywho, so we got Boston and Danny Ainge and Brad Stevens. Shout out Danny Ainge. Danny Ainge was the architect that put together that team. But KG, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen, so he led them or architect that team rather to that championship. So obviously he was able to do some good things with that organization. Just to kind of piggyback or to bring some perspective to what you guys had said about being scared of making some moves, it makes sense now that I think about it. Because you remember how bad of a position they were in after the move. So maybe my only thinking is maybe he was afraid to put the team back in that. Yeah, because they traded. After everyone, with the 10 years over, it was like they were notorious for what they, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe they just were thinking about that, even though they got a bunch of draft picks and stuff back from the Nets, like.
And I wanted to say that Danny Ainge was great when it came to picking in the draft.
Yeah, he definitely he made up for the ending of the Boston Big Three with what he was able to do with the trade compared to the draft that he acquired. Seems like a good thing for Brad Stevens. Brad Stevens is kind of already in rumblings as far as a coach anyway. I think the organization before this even came out and said he ain't going nowhere, and it makes sense why now they said that, because he really isn't. He's just promoted if anything, which it sounds like he kind of was burnt out of coaching. It didn't make it any better that their highest paid player and Kemba Walker didn't do much towards the end of the season with injuries and everything else, and then Jaylen Brown went down with an injury as well. And I think we've all kind of spoke on how that team was just poorly put together as far as they didn't have a legit big men, they didn't have an inside presence. Like, we kind of spoke on that. So maybe getting these people in some different positions will help them out actually in a positive. You got a superstar in the making of Jason Tatum. You've got definitely a blossoming star in Jaylen Brown coming into his own, seeing what they can do.
You gotta see what coach they get.
Yeah, and that's the final piece of the puzzle, right? Is trying to make sure you get the right coach. I would like to see, obviously, someone of color a chance, but just someone fresh. I would love to see someone fresh get brought in instead of one of these recycled coaches. Because I don't think a recycled coach would work anyway with Brad Stevens, because Brad Stevens was the coach. And I think Brad Stevens is going to want a little bit of input on some of the styles and stuff that they run, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. But overall, I mean, like you said, it's good to see that some of these all-time greats are transitioning on their own and being able to transition out on their own terms. So shout out to Coach K and Danny Ainge, man. So who am I left with? Jay-Tay?
But yeah, I'm gonna keep it short and simple. First and foremost, just congratulations to both Danny Ainge and Coach K to illustrious careers. You know what I'm saying? Danny Ainge to hoop and to go into that role from 03 until now. I still think the 2008 Boston Celtics are the most overrated champions in the world, but they're champions nonetheless. Yeah. Like, you would think they won 50.
Golly.
But that's not taken away from Danny Ainge. That's not taken away from Danny Ainge. So I just want to tell them both congratulations. Coach K, thank you for making college basketball interesting. You're a big pivotal part in that. 46 years, I mean, that's older than me, you know what I'm saying? You've coached longer than I've been alive on this earth, so you deserve all the credit in the world, man. You
winning the whole time.
Yeah, and with a lot of winning duns too. You know, that's super hard to do. You know, to continuously win with new people coming in, and that's why I think Duke will be okay. I definitely agree with Melo. They're gonna have to build their own culture, but they can hang their hats at least for like the first 5 years on history, so they'll be completely fine. Shout out to Juwan Howard too. You know what I'm saying? Juwan Howard's doing really, really big things in Michigan as well. So we're seeing the shift from, I think Tom Izzo's going to be next. Roy's going. You know what I'm saying? So we're about to transition to a new styling of coaching, which can bring a different variety of basketball for college basketball. So I'm pretty excited about that. But you guys both deserve all your flowers. And from that, I'm just going to keep the ball rolling. And we kind of touched on this briefly last week at the end of the show. But, fellas, we need to get into these fans, man. These fans have been acting crazy, from throwing bottles that almost hit Kyrie in the head to spitting on Trae Young to just a whole bunch of crazy stuff. You know, people been locked in quarantine a little bit too long. So let's just kind of touch on that, man. Let's just kind of talk about these fans and how y'all feel, or what you feel like needs to be done, because there's been a whole bunch of people saying what they should be doing, what they shouldn't be doing. There was even a situation with John Morant and his family. A couple of fans were being belligerent to his mother. So it's been some crazy stuff going on. So Huncho, kick us off, man. How you feeling about all this fan stuff going on?
Hey, some fan gonna mess with the right NBA player one day and they gonna get knocked out, bro. For real, man. Like, I understand, like, y'all been locked up and everything, and you know you're excited to be back in the stadium, which, you know, I'm so glad that we have this playoff basketball atmosphere back and just have the fans in there finally. But y'all gotta behave, man. Y'all adults acting like y'all 5 years old, man. Have some sense, cause somebody gonna throw the wrong bag of popcorn one day and somebody gonna come knock you out, bro. Them 6 security guards that was holding Westbrook ain't gonna be here all the time, and somebody gonna get through and they gonna get up there. So y'all keep playing with fire if y'all won't, but y'all gotta get control of yourselves, man. It's out of hand. I don't see how people just have this much disrespect for people. Like, I understand, like, they're playing and you feel like they can't do nothing to you, but no, somebody gonna get knocked out, bro. That's all I got to say. Melo, what you got, man?
Listen, man, there definitely needs to be a checking of these fans, man. What you don't want to create is an environment of hostility between the players and fans. It's already, you know, naturally you're gonna have boos and everything else, which is a part of the game. That's fine.
Yeah.
But stuff that you wouldn't do if you was on the streets with these men, don't do in the stands, right? Outside of that realm of like okayness, right? Like I said, booing and all that, like, that's fine. But you throwing stuff at someone, you know, you spitting at someone. You know what happened if you would have spit at someone? Bro,
you heard what Westbrook said, bro.
But beyond all of that stuff is assault.
That's
so
what
I'm glad that the last person who did what they did has gotten arrested. But yeah, that can't slide.
Like, what in someone's mind is like, yo, I'm about to spit at this dude,
bro?
This NBA player. Like, you know how messed up you gotta be to be like not even like you're buying a ticket, you're paying to be here. Why the heck would you have to act like, if anything, you're supposed to be acting more like of a proper person since you're paying to be in here? But obviously in the sports arena, sports setting, it's just a little different. But to go that overboard here, like you said.
And on top of that, my bad, Melo. And on top of that, if you freaking ain't gonna be able to go to another game because you're gonna get banned. Like, what's the point? There's no logical thinking in this, bro. Brad Bill said it best, bro.
They do anything for foul.
Brad Bill said it best, bro. One of them mess with that fool. He said, my hands do work. Because I think the full quote was something like they was asking him, did he feel unsafe in these environments? He was like, man, just to be clear, I don't feel unsafe. It's just a respect thing. But just know, these hands do work. So it ain't that I feel unsafe, but it's just, hey, we can't do nothing back. You know what I mean? So, not that we advocating for that either, but it's like you said, we really advocating for the respect piece. More so the fans than the players. The players haven't done anything. They're just doing their job. So not even more so from the fans. So, Lamp.
All right, let me get a little deep, but I'm gonna try to keep it brief. So, like I said last week when we talked about this, y'all are gonna end up messing up the NBA experience. And the NBA experience is so dope because you get to be so close and like get to see all the action. So don't have these boys put up, like I said, a whole glass thing around the arena.
Like hockey, bro.
Like hockey. You don't want that. And then also, I feel like Kyrie brought up a good point when he talked about it. I feel like there's like underlying racial tension. Like,
I was gonna say that too. I'm glad you went there. I was gonna say it don't. These fans all look a certain way.
Yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say.
let me tell you something. These fans who do this buy these tickets, and for some reason they feel entitled, and that feeling of entitlement just really points to privilege. So because you bought a ticket, you feel like you have the right to assault the person that you're watching. That doesn't make sense. Like, just because you paid to watch the game. Like, I understand that this is sports, so trash talking and all that, yeah, that's a part of it. Booing and trying to get like the opponent to miss or whatever the case is, or mess up, that's all a part of this. But just because you paid doesn't mean you get to treat these athletes however you want. Like I said, and a lot of the cases are white people trying to belittle black athletes. So we need to wake up and we need to realize what's going on, and we need to like check this. Like I said, I'm glad the last person who did what they did got arrested for it, because this is assault. Like, you can't do that. And especially when the athlete can't react back to it. And before I pass it on, New York got what they deserved. All that talking.
They got a bob.
Trae Young shrugged all that off. And then ended the show. You guys are welcome.
Ended the show.
You guys are welcome. Bye-bye. Go home.
Hey, shout out Trae.
Hey, you seen him do the fake spit?
Yeah, that's exactly like spit on me. Yeah.
Hey.
Like I said, y'all did all that talking just to go home.
In 5.
like I said, just chill, enjoy the game. That's it. But Jay, go ahead.
Yeah, y'all hit it right on the head. I was thinking more so from my standpoint when I thought about this. I just thought about like the kids that's growing up watching the sport as well. I think, you know, one of the biggest things, like when we were younger and we got to go to like these experiences, to hoop it, basketball, football, any type of live sporting event, and being able to go to school and be like, man, did y'all see it? You know what I'm saying? Just being amazed. And you can't have that type of environment, you know, acting the way that you acting. So that's what I thought about. But I think y'all all hit it right on the head. Like, keep it classy. Like Melo said, a part of the game is to root for your team. So that doesn't mean you're going to root for the other team. Do your boos, you know, talk your smack, you know what I'm saying? But keep it classy, man. We all just trying to enjoy the sport. Have a good time, you know what I'm saying? And enjoy the atmosphere. So keep it classy. Like we said, don't mess it up for other people. Don't mess it up for the kids. Don't mess it up for the future of the sport. Just keep it classy. For real. Keep it classy. And I'll leave it at that. Y'all hit it right on the head. Lamp, really like where you took it, because
Facts.
we can talk about, and there's been players that talk about specific cities for that reason. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I think this was excellent, man. We keep pushing. We keep pushing.
Shoot, we kind of touched on the next topic in the midst of that, and bringing up Trae Young and New York and everything. That was a nice little tease for our next topic. Fellas, there's something going on in the NBA. I can't recall. I think it's the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
Playoffs.
And it's been great. It's been great. The first round has been great.
I feel like it has not disappointed, man. I want my bottle. It has not disappointed. So look,
yeah, another one tonight.
Here, just give me a minute. Don't worry about it.
He said, "Give me a minute."
Don't worry. So as we're currently sitting, by this time, by Sunday, game one would have happened between the Bucks and the Nets, and then at 1 o'clock on Sunday, the Hawks and the 76ers will kick it off. So that's all that we have currently as far as conference finals. We got the Nuggets and the Blazers kicking off the fourth quarter here shortly. We got the Suns and the Lakers kicking off Game 6 here in a minute as well. Fellas, before we get to the conference finals, let's take a look at these last couple games of these last couple series as we get into these next couple pivotal games. I mean, either winner and go home type games. So, hold on.
Before we get started, Denver's 102, Portland 101. 9 minutes left.
Right now.
Just letting y'all know.
Oh.
Just keeping you in the loop.
My prediction before this show was that they would go home. Portland was going home. So let's see if that happens. Anywho, Van, let's get this out the way.
Come on with
Get
it.
this out the way now, bro.
Let's get it.
Who went in tonight with the Lakers?
I'm taking the Suns.
So, just to recap for everybody who's listening, who's tuned in.
Oh, yeah.
Weeks back.
I lost a bit.
They made a bet.
This last week.
Oh, this is last week. This was last week. Yes, this was last week. So, last week they made a bet for Game 4.
Yup. Game 4.
Van said the Suns would win.
Yup.
Melo said the Lakers would win. So, as we all know, Game 4 has passed. The Lakers brought it home.
Mm-hmm.
So now, Van owes Melo a bottle. But now, we're all caught up. We're all brought up to speed. Go ahead.
Now we here again.
Propose it, man. What we doing, bro? Like this, I done got you again, bro. You gonna fall
Hey, man.
behind the sinker again?
Game ain't started yet, man. Ain't no telling who gonna win. Game 6 tonight. I'm taking Phoenix. Lakers going home. I'm confident in it. I'm confident in it.
I ain't gotta talk to you under this one. Double or nothing.
What's up?
Bet.
So I gotta get you 2. If you do win.
No, you said it right already. You already said it right. You just gotta give me 2. So don't even worry about it.
Okay.
Book it.
We gonna see.
Book it. All I know is this: LeBron is better than Devin Booker. So, and that's what this game is gonna come down to. Anywho, I'm glad we got this out the way. We got the grown man business out the way. Now let's talk some sports, bro. Let's talk some sports. So, right now, let me kick it to Jay. Let's get Jay to pop something off for us, Jay.
Yeah.
Talk to me, Jay. What do you foresee the Clippers and the Mavericks series ending and then go into the conference finals that will be starting this weekend? And then you also, rather, I should say this, because we got the Clippers and Mavericks still, we got the Lakers and Suns, and then we're going to keep our eye on the Nuggets and Trailblazers. But just give me your playoff thoughts, bro. Just dive deep for me on your playoff thoughts.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry, I had technical difficulties. I didn't. Yeah, my Wi-Fi kind of went out for a little bit, and then y'all came back. Like
You straight.
I'm sorry. What was going on?
My bad, bro. I had kicked you, bro. I was just saying, look. I had said just to give me, some of your thoughts and predictions as we finish out the first round, and then touch onto the conference semifinals between the Bucks and Nets and the Hawks and 76. I just want to hear your perspective on some of these series. I know you kind of been the last one on the last couple. I want to give you a full throttle, full opportunity to go right here.
Okay, so I'm gonna end with the Lakers and Phoenix series. I had a bone to pick with D-Lamp, so I'm gonna end with that one. Let me start off with Utah and the grid. Shout out to Ja Morant. But I'm happy. I had Utah winning this series, but I'm really happy that Donovan Mitchell and Utah are taking that step. So I'm curious to see, them close out this series. This is going to be a true testament to see how they close out a series. With them being such a new team. And like we said, we know the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies gonna fight to the end. So I mean, I'm not gonna count them out. But very proud of Utah and what they're doing. They're playing excellent basketball, and when they're shooting the ball like they're shooting the ball, I mean, it's a reason that they're the number 1 seed. So shouts out to them. The Mavericks and the Clippers. My man Luka had a messed up nerve in his neck, and 2 days later, he dropped 40 points in 3 quarters. But he had a terrible fourth quarter. We only scored 2 points, but they still got the W. So I think just more personally for me, I just think a lot more is riding on the Clippers more so than the Lakers, and I'll dive into that because, like I said, I had a bone to pick with Lamp because we've been talking off screen. So I'm glad that we finally on the show. So I really like what Dallas is doing. I really like. I like the grit of this Dallas team. You know what I'm saying? Like, on paper, I'm not counting the Clippers out. I think this series is going to go 7. Game 7 going to be a toss-up, but I think it's going to go 7. And if it doesn't and I'm wrong, I wouldn't be mad that the Mavericks won because the Mavs are bringing it. The Mavs are really bringing it. They taking a step. They taking a step up. They didn't already felt how, they already know how it feels to lose, kind of like Utah in a similar fashion. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do. So I'm just going to bounce over to the Eastern Conference because I said I wanted to end with the Western Conference before I kick it off to Lamp. But the semis, hey, it's about to heat up now. The Eastern Conference is about to heat up right now. Shout out to Trae Young, man. Shout out to Atlanta. I'm down here in Atlanta, bro. The city is going crazy for their Hawks, so that's super exciting to see. I like this Hawks team, man. I was telling my boy, shout out to Davi, telling Creed. I told him last year, I was like, they should have made this jump last year, but the biggest difference is Nate McMillan, man. And Indiana should feel stupid for firing him because he has rallied the troops, and this is a really good team. They're shooting the ball really good, and I think they're going to give. I still personally think they're not ready to take that step yet. I think Philly wins, but I don't think this is going to be an easy series for Philly at all. Clint Capella has been balling. Herter has been balling. Bogdan has been balling. Gallo has been showing his veteran leadership. So this is a scary Hawks team. So Philly better come with it, man. Ben Simmons, you can't be missing them free throws at the end of games, man. So I'm really excited to see that. And this Brooklyn-Milwaukee series, I am so nervous, and I'm going to make sure that I get the cut. I told Lamp I'm going to get the timestamp, I'm going to get the cut so Remy can pull it up and we put it in next week's episode. But your boy picked Milwaukee to come out the East. And I was telling Lamp, I said, I don't want to back down because I stand down on my words, but I don't know how they going to beat Harden, KD, and Kyrie, bro. Them brothers are lethal. Now, I'm not backing off my pick. I got Milwaukee. I got Milwaukee.
You changed my pick, honestly.
I got Milwaukee, and I got Milwaukee for the fact that Brooklyn about to see this defense for real now. They gonna have to retool. Steve Nash gonna have to coach his best players. He gonna have to coach his best players only because this Milwaukee team, bro, they got something to prove, bro. All the reports, everything that I'm reading and hearing about this Milwaukee team, the stories that I'm hearing about Giannis and how he came into this playoffs with redemption on his mind, bruh. They different right now, y'all. They are different right now. But Brooklyn is different. I'm gonna retort once y'all start talking about that. But let me get into this Phoenix and Lakers.
Oh yeah, okay. Let's talk about it. Here we go.
Let me get into this. Because Melo and Lamp, these are my boys, but they told me. They told me. And this is why and this is kind of why I feel like the Clippers have more so to prove than the Lakers. Now the Lakers, not even a full year removed from their championship. What we've seen so far in this playoffs, Denver is 108 right now. Denver was in the Western Conference Finals last year. Lakers were in the finals. Miami was in the finals. Boston was in the Eastern Conference Finals. All of those teams have been dealing with a lot of injuries. So, my thing is, I even said it. I said on Profit or Stop It, if Phoenix got LaMarcus Aldridge, that they would be a threat. Because I seen them as a threat as is because they're the second seed in the West. They're a good team. They should be beating the 7th seed without AD, even if it is just LeBron. And one thing that we need to start talking about is I just think we're also accustomed to LeBron being Superman, but I think his age is starting to show. I finally think we're starting to see his age take a toll on him because I can't expect a 36-year-old in any sport. Tom Brady, 43, and had to have Mike Evans, Godwin, AB, Gronk. You know what I'm saying? You need help. So I still expect LeBron to be the best player. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to evade him from any blame or anything that cuz you're the leader of the team. So you need to be held to a leader standard. But I don't think it should be as deep or as at fault because we seen now that all the teams that made it far into the bubble have been dealing COVID, injuries. They haven't been the same. Miami swept, Boston gentleman sweep, Portland is holding on. Denver's holding on for dear life right now. And then we see the Lakers. They just got blown out in Game 5. Blown out. Schroeder, no points. So you have to have some type of help in any capacity to win in the playoffs. Like Melo said, it comes down to matchups, and we're going to see it tonight. So hopefully the Lakers can bring it because it would suck for Dallas went out in the first round after they won their championship. I want to say maybe, and I'll fact check this as y'all talk, but I want to say, did Kobe get bounced after he won his championship? After they had beat Boston in the first round?
I believe so.
Yeah,
to Dallas.
Yeah, to Dallas. Yeah. So it's tough, and that's just what I want to be considered because I let Lamp talk to y'all. Go ahead, talk to y'all. We don't have a conversation.
All right.
That's just my stance on that, and I wanted to get that out there to kind of put it on y'all mental because we finna talk about it. Go ahead, fellas.
All right.
Go ahead.
So, I agree with you. I feel like, and I know at first I thought the Lakers would probably win this series, but I think the Suns are gonna win tonight. To be honest, and I'm tired of people talking about LeBron doesn't have help. No, stop it. Stop flip-flopping the story. The Lakers were the winners of the offseason when they acquired all their picks and all their players that they got. They were the winners of the offseason and figured out that Marc Gasol's not guarding anything. They figured out why the Clippers gave up Harold in the first place. And everybody was saying KCP deserved his money. Now all of a sudden, he's no help. So I'm sorry, this happens to a lot of teams. They go through slumps. But we'll see what LeBron can do. And also, I agree with you, Jay. Time is showing in LeBron. LeBron averaged 22 points throughout the series. He's averaging 22 points. When have we ever seen LeBron average 22 points in the first round?
Season.
Exactly.
Early on in his career.
Exactly. So, time is starting to peak its head. Father Time is undefeated, as everybody says. So, I don't know what's going to happen with this Phoenix and Lakers game, but I wouldn't be surprised if Phoenix wins tonight. Let me go
I got the Lake Show tonight. Just throw that out there.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Like that's definitely an outcome. Like I also wouldn't be surprised if LeBron goes for 30, 38, 10 and 10 and wins them the game. But
you don't have to do that.
Yeah, that's the only way.
But even if that happens, I don't see them winning the whole series. Let me move on to the other LA team and the Clippers. And the Mavericks. Excuse me. So, I feel like when it comes to the Clippers, we have seen the people that we so call are the top 3 wing defenders in the game. Paul George, Kawhi, Patrick Beverly. We seen that they're not the same people. Well, I never thought Patrick Beverly was.
Luka got Pat Bev on the bench. Pat Bev then got benched, bro.
I'd never believed that Patrick Beverly was the lockup.
What Russ say?
Yeah, he said he was just out there talking. Just out there talking, running his mouth.
Antics.
That's what Russell said. He's out there running his mouth.
He said, I got 50 and he running his mouth.
So like I've never like thought that Patrick Beverly was that lockup point guard. Like he's aggressive and he's made his name off defense, but he's not that guy that's just going to shut somebody down. Now Kawhi and Paul George on the other hand, I don't know what happened to them. And I feel like ever since Kawhi has started to be that guy who scores and who's that first option, he decided he wasn't going to play defense anymore. I don't know.
Well, that's because Boardman carrying the low. He's still averaging 30 this series. He's still averaging 30, so I just feel like it's different when you got to carry. It's different when you got to carry. No. I'm just saying Kawhi he didn't have to carry. I'm not saying now. In Toronto, he went against a hobbled Golden State team. KD plays in that series. That series doesn't go past 4 games. In San Antonio, he still had TP, Tim Duncan, you know what I'm saying? So now that he has to carry,
I understand what you're saying, but there's no reason why I see Reggie Jackson on Luka for 4 straight possessions.
I agree. And
man. He would score every time. So if you're that guy, and you're supposed to have 2 of those people who are two-way players, why is Reggie Jackson guarding Luka? Like, what? So, for you guys to be... I don't believe they've been... Like, the last time I seen Paul George be a two-way player was when he was in OKC.
I agree.
I don't believe Kawhi Leonard has been that two-way guy since he got injured in San Antonio. So, I really think we see them for what they are. Like, they're great on the offensive end. But y'all supposed to be the team that held y'all hat on defense. Like, if they were really that team, they would be blowing teams out. Like Golden State did when they had KD. But y'all are getting beat single-handedly. Well, not single-handedly, but Luka is really...
it's single-handedly.
I mean, but Luka...
yeah,
like, it's not single-handedly. It's not single-handedly when Tim Hardaway is doing what he's doing. Tim Hardaway had a couple bad games, but Tim Hardaway has also been balling.
Bro,
he's been contributing.
The last game, Luka scored or assisted on 31 of the
and I seen that. And that's why I said single-handedly, but like his teammates also have to make the shot, which is why I'm not totally giving him single-handedly. But y'all are losing to a team that Kristaps Porzingis has turned into a horse out there.
I've been said he wasn't the one.
He was. There was no horn on his head. He's not no unicorn. He's out there looking like a horse.
It's too many egos in the Clippers, bro. It's too many egos.
Donkey.
You said it's too many what on the Clippers, Jay?
I just said it's too many egos, bro. It's too many egos, bro. That's the problem with them, bro. Dallas is playing as a team. They're playing as a team.
But my thing is, it wouldn't even. He's not a unicorn.
He ain't no horse either. Horses is real. People pay to watch horses run. Who plan to see 8 points in the playoffs?
Yeah, that's funny. But you, Loki, hey, I can't disagree. But my thing is, even with them being a terrible team in the clutch, if y'all was defensively what y'all are supposed to be, it wouldn't even come down to that. Like, for real, this should be a 5-game series.
Bro, I was gonna say 6. This should have been over.
Yes, this should have been over. Like, Game 5, when they blew out the Mavs, that's how it should have been throughout the series.
The final game should be tonight. Clippers should win it. Should have been winning it.
Exactly. So that I wouldn't be surprised if the Clippers went home. I feel like they're masquerading as a team that they're not. I mean, the 3-point leading the league in 3-point percentage and free throw percentage, that's cool and all. But if y'all can't finish or play defense, what are we talking about? So I wouldn't be surprised if Luka brings it home tonight.
These dudes really be getting their tails bust
by Luka
consistently.
Man, that man averaging 30 in the playoffs because of them.
Kryptonite, boy.
I just don't understand that. And I'm hearing what you're saying, Jay. But all these all-time great dudes that they're trying to compare Kawhi to would have took the challenge.
Exactly.
You got two of them fools.
And neither one of them are trying to guard Luka.
Yeah. Hey, nobody trying to guard Luka.
Clippers, come out and play.
Hey.
But let me move on. Let me move on to where do I want to go? I'm gonna go to the Nuggets and the Trailblazers. Do we have a
119, 110?
119,
119, 110. Denver up. 2:29 left.
Okay. I've been really disappointed in CJ. I feel like the CJ I seen in the bubble that had Ja Morant go home and didn't know what was happening, and the CJ I see now are two different CJs. I feel like CJ is scared to take on like whoever's in front of him type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I'd agree with that.
skills and drills was a thing last year. I don't know if I heard anybody say that this year. Like, Dame is out there doing his part.
Free Dame.
Like, 55. Was it
Dame
55?
doing more than his part.
55?
Dame doing
On
more than his
70%
part.
shooting? 70% shooting? And he couldn't nobody help him? Like, I'm disappointed in them. But, it's looking like the Nuggets are ready to take this series. And I will tell Melo that MPJ has been balling out. He's been doing his thing.
Imagine that. Now that Jamal Murray is out the way.
Efficient too. He's been efficient.
It's 119, 113 now. Dame just hit 3 free throws.
Okay, Dame.
Bro, they going
drag
home,
them.
Bro. They going home, bro.
Drag them if you have to.
Yeah, he did. He tried. They still lost. It's over, bro. They can't be the injured freaking Denver.
Man. So yeah, Denver is looking like they're taking that home. Ja and Brooks, they had a coming out party. Like, we gonna see them in the playoffs a lot.
Definitely.
They just getting started.
Yep.
They just getting started. So we'll see if Memphis makes any moves this upcoming season. See what they want to do. But they definitely have a solid core. And they gonna be a problem coming up. Give them a couple years. They gonna be a problem. Now, I'm gonna save the Bucks and the Nets for last. So, Hawks and the 76ers. That, to me, I feel like that depends on what happens with Joel.
Yeah, that helps.
What are we gonna see from Joel? Is he gonna be healthy? If he is he gonna come back and be the same Joel we've seen throughout the first round? Or are we gonna have a injured Joel? If Joel's not going to play, the Hawks have a good chance.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, they've been balling. And like Clint Capella would have had trouble with Embiid, but with Embiid being out, Bogdan, ball. we gonna see who they put Ben on. Because I feel like Trey when I feel like he knows he can't score, he becomes a straight facilitator.
That's what I was gonna say. The X factor of this series, Lamp, is John Collins, bro. He was super quiet in this first round, bro.
If John Collins becomes aggressive, because I don't see anybody on the 76ers that can guard him. If he's really aggressive, like you said, he's going to be an X factor. So we definitely want to see what's going to happen with Embiid going into this next series and see where his health is at. But and if Embiid is healthy, I got the 76ers. But if he's not going to play for a majority of the series, watch out for the Hawks. Now.
You gotta talk about this.
Now.
You gonna have to convince me.
Yeah, this is what we all. I feel like this is what we all been waiting on.
You gonna have to convince me.
Let me talk to you boys. I feel what y'all saying. Milwaukee has a lot to prove. They've been kicked out the last 2 years, 2 to 3 years. Yeah, they've been kicked out early. Nobody can guard Giannis. Okay, I get all that. But they could either take this one of two ways. They can let Giannis play his game. Go ahead, Giannis, score 40. But we not finna let Middleton, we not finna let Drew Holiday score. We gonna keep them limited. Themselves. You put pressure on them. I've seen Drew Holiday firsthand, and I had him in fantasy. He will stop himself. And low key, KD has been really underrated defensively. He can protect the rim. I'm not saying he has to stop Giannis, but I'm pretty sure he can stop Drew Holiday and stop Chris Middleton from getting to the rim. And if we could
stop both of them,
hey, yeah, we push them straight. We push them straight down to our help defender.
They don't play defense.
Right, Boston scored 120 plus in all the games too. That's what I'm trying to say.
Look, and I feel
they
y'all.
Don't have nobody.
I feel y'all, but look, let me tell you this. As long as we're letting Giannis go to the rim and do whatever he wants, and we're playing those lanes where you want to pass it to your open guy because that's what he's going to want to do. Okay, who's going to have more points? Giannis, Chris Middleton, and Drew Holiday, or Kyrie, KD, and Harden?
I don't doubt that, but my thing is, in this series, role players are going to be important. They're going to be important in this series because
why James Harden is the key piece. Which is why James Harden was the key piece. When they played in the regular season,
Milwaukee and barely won majority of the games.
They beat them back to back, barely without James Harden, who gets the role players involved. James Harden, like I said, which is why a couple weeks back when my whole profit or stop it was James Harden will be the finals MVP, is because of those reasons right there. When the role players are the key pieces, guess what Brooklyn's role players do? Shoot more efficient than the Bucks when James Harden is on the floor.
In the regular season, defense matters in the playoffs. Defense matters,
and I understand
it's gonna become a chess match.
Who's stopping? Who you gonna put Giannis on? You gonna put Giannis on KD, correct? Yeah. Who is Middleton guarding? Who is he stopping?
Who do you want him to be on?
Yeah.
Whoever you want to. He's not stopping nobody.
And that's the thing. The depth of defense that they have. You could throw Bobby Portis. You could throw a body. You could throw a PJ Tucker in there. You could throw bodies at them. You know what I'm saying? So
even DiVincenzo, he can play hard.
Yeah.
He gonna be a gnat. I'm not saying he gonna stop it, but he gonna be a gnat.
Yeah, he gonna yeah.
Damn, you still here? Like, golly.
And I understand that, but also you're going to have to double. You're going to have to double because you can't stop any of those players one-on-one. So guess what? You have to bring players over to help, which is where James Harden is going to light up, and he's going to brighten all of the Nets' worries about these role players because you're going to have to double off of them, and James Harden is going to find them every time. I bet Joe Harris has a game where he scores over 25.
So let me get this straight, because this is all I've heard so far. They're just gonna let KD or Giannis just score.
No, I'm not. I'm saying they can go one of two ways. You let Giannis do whatever he wants to do, and you stop the others, or you do your best stopping Giannis and let the others beat you. But you're not finna do both. You're not finna try to stop Giannis and then sometimes.
What do you think is the one that's gonna work?
One pause. Denver won the series, like Melo said. Denver 126, Portland 115. Just wanted to get that out there.
Aaron Gordon gamed them.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yep. Just wanted to put that out there.
It wasn't
But we knew
too much of a surprise.
We knew that was going to
Yeah. So with the Bucks, we've seen the Nets make key stops when they need to make stops.
No, we haven't.
And yes, we have. Yes, we have.
Games that
No, we
like
haven't.
this is now. This is playoffs. This is when it matters. We ain't seen nothing yet.
Okay.
The same
okay.
with this Bucks team. We ain't seen nothing from this Bucks team yet.
Okay.
But
and
that's gonna be my retort to what you were
on
saying, Lamp.
Because I was talking about regular season.
This isn't the same Bucks team. The Bucks aren't built to just drive for Giannis to just drive, bro. They cohesively they play a better game of basketball, and their half court offense is really good too.
They've definitely opened up Giannis this year. If you actually have watched a lot of his tape looks a lot different this year than it does any other year. Because he's actually able to hit baseline mid-range shots. He's actually able to get to the post and make post moves and score. This year, to me, Giannis took a step offensively, not maybe in points per game or even in threes, but his effectiveness outside of the paint in the mid-range area is going to be something to watch in this series.
Yeah, that is.
Because there's no one that can stop him in this series.
And that's my point. That's my point. And I was never saying that they're not a different Bucks team at all. My point is nobody on this Brooklyn Nets team can stop Giannis, so we don't try to. But there's people on the Brooklyn Nets team that can make it hard for Middleton, DiVincenzo, Holiday. We can make it hard for the other players.
Lamp? Who? Tell me who.
We don't. Who are their defenders that are going to make it hard for Middleton, who is a 50-40-90 guy, and Drew Holiday, who's consistently averages 23 points in the game?
We can put KD on Middleton.
So y'all really just going to say F Giannis and just y'all.
If there's nobody who can stop Giannis anyway, why even?
Okay, so I'm trying to follow this. So
exactly.
You put KD on.
You put
Middleton.
Blake. You put Blake on Giannis. He does whatever he can try to do.
Blake on Giannis.
Barbecue chicken.
Because he's acknowledging he's going to average 35 to 40. He's acknowledging that.
That's
I hear what you're saying.
He's going to get that.
I'm just saying barbecue chicken.
But I put KD on Middleton. Now Middleton he's going to have problems. If we can keep Middleton under 20, then we're doing what we're supposed to do. And then the rest of the team, you play team ball on the other players. Because it's not like Drew Holiday is just going to demolish their team. It's not like Chris Middleton is going to demolish KD. And that's only if they play this way. I don't know how. I don't know what Steve Nash has planned. I don't know what
I think we're just. So I was talking with one of my homeboys earlier about this series because this is such an intriguing series because of
it is.
The matchups. I was saying to him earlier, I was like, this series it can't be a replica of James Harden with Mike D'Antoni, right? Or Steve Nash with Mike D'Antoni. It cannot be because if it's a rendition of those series of nothing but offense, they're gonna lose this series. It's not. It will happen just like it has happened with that coach, with that assistant coach, and with that point guard. It was they are going to have to play defense. This team is too deep. This team has enough playmakers now this year. Eric Bledsoe, we see with Eric Bledsoe, he's a shell of himself. So you replace Eric Bledsoe with Drew, a natural two and a natural two-way player. They are going to have to play defense. Do I think that they can do it? I do think they have the capabilities of playing defense. Am I trusting that Steve Nash and Mike D'Antoni are the ones that demands it? No.
Yeah.
That's the it's so many interesting dynamics in this series because of that. Can I see Brooklyn still winning it? Yes.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Me too.
But man, it's hard for me to think that the one series that will go against NBA grain will be this one, because generally defense wins in the playoffs. And even though they're offensively great, statistically, Dallas Mavericks last year was the best offensive rated team in the history of the league. And they got to what round? The first? So,
but it's different.
Granted, this team has the more talented players, but it has never shown, none of the highest offensive rated teams outside of them Golden State teams have been able to win. Because often you got to be able to back it up with something. I just worry that they don't have enough to back it up with on the defensive end.
And keep it real. A lot of the reasons why those Golden State teams won, because they played good defense. They were good. They were good defensively
and I
too.
get y'all, and I definitely get y'all. But what I'm saying is, even bringing up, what was Milwaukee defensively rated? Are they third, or because they're not first?
They're probably, and I don't have the number right off my head. They're probably no further down than 7. And I would say,
I think they're top 5.
Top 5.
They're top 5, yeah.
I would go top 5.
Okay. Top 5. I can see them taking this might go to game 7. Like, I feel like this probably goes to game 7, but they still don't have enough defense to stop. There's too much offense. It's too much offense. And if we're going to talk about deep, the Nets are deep. The Nets are deep. We're not going to sit here and act like the Nets only have 3 players. Their bench is decent. They have shooters everywhere.
What'd you say?
Their bench is overrated. I think their bench is overrated. I honestly think Milwaukee has a better bench. I think Forbes, PJ, Bobby Portis are going to be a lot better than Shamet, DeAndre. I just think they're going to be better.
You're also not understanding that the minutes. You're always going to have a star on the floor at a point in time when it comes to the Nets. Even when the bench comes in.
That's fine.
So their bench is not better.
But
you get
there's
more,
going to be
Middleton, more production.
Drew Holiday, or Giannis always on the floor as well. So you're going to have driving forces to halt runs at different times. And KD is the biggest factor when someone's off the bench. You want Kyrie Irving to be the only one on the court.
What single star besides Giannis, because Middleton or Drew Holiday on the floor by themselves is worse than Kyrie on the floor by himself.
With their bench, they're better. Middleton playing with Brian Forbes, Bobby Portis, throwing Brook Lopez for all I care, Chris Middleton, and whomever.
Okay. And is that a better bench than James Harden, Shamet? You could put in Johnson. You could put in. Is Green hurt? Is Green hurt right now? Green's hurt right now.
Yeah.
Okay. You put in Jordan. So you're gonna tell me that bench with Milwaukee is a better bench?
Yes.
Then no, it's not.
It's not. I gotta go with Jalen on this.
It's not. You can, but it's not.
DeAndre's a shell of himself.
That's fine.
Landry Shamet is so hot and cold. That's why he done been on 4 different teams in 4 seasons.
I agree with you, Lamp. The X factor is Joe Harris. He's definitely the X factor.
If
but
Joe Harris don't do it, if Joe Harris for some reason, if they're able to run him off the 3-point line throughout the series,
you can't run him. You can try, but you can't run him off the 3.
But we're talking about a team that actually plays defense. Like rotations and stuff will still be there.
They will.
Like we're acting like I get it. But at the end of the day, there's only one basketball. So yeah, they have two really, really, really good isolation players. But at the end of the day, we're talking about a team that actually locks in on defense versus a team that kind of cares about defense sometimes. Like, we're hoping that they're just hitting buckets in all series.
No,
and I don't think that's just
I'm not,
be the case.
because Milwaukee will win when they're not hitting their buckets. But they're not going to shut down the Nets. They're not. You can't shut down the Nets.
But that's not what no one's saying.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying when the Nets are missing their shots, yes, the Bucks will win those games. But more times than none, the Nets will outscore the Bucks.
But I think that's a bad mentality to have in the playoffs.
And I understand what you're saying, but
it's just to outscore the
outscoring thing.
But facts, more so, they will outscore the Bucks. When the Nets aren't hitting their shots, the Bucks will definitely.
But the evidence don't prove they can outscore them, Lamp. Even in the regular season, if the games was 6-3-1, so they've been close games.
So real quick, my thing is just going back to you talking about the bench.
Play with Harden.
If you think about their bench, yes, you do have Harden coming off the bench, but I feel like that's the same formula that they've been in. So if you're getting back into, like Melo said, the outscoring thing, that's not going to win in the playoffs.
Bro,
they've already seen how that formula worked in the past. It didn't work in the past, so it's not going to work now. I can't take their bench over that.
The difference is now you got the person who created the system, the person who first ran the system, and now you got the best player to ever run the system, right? And I guess maybe it'll work now. Maybe the three of them together would get them to work.
Same formula, bro.
It's the same formula. It until they now once again. I reserve to change my opinion if they decide to play defense. That's the missing key.
We can't. Okay.
I'm saying I'm saying they won't play defense. That's the only reason. That's the reason why they won't win. Right. If they decide to go and play actual defense, then the series will go for Brooklyn. All they got, if they try to play defense, it will be a close series. Because the defense in the playoffs is too pivotal.
They do try. Okay. All right. I agree.
They try. They just don't play good defense. They're just not good at it. And that's my worry. I don't know a championship team that hasn't been at least top 15 in defense.
They've showed that they could be top 15. I mean, but like I said, I get what y'all saying.
It's a struggle for us at least for me, to wrap my mind around a team that doesn't play defense, being able to beat a team that actually has some firepower, that has an MVP caliber player, that plays defense, that is clicking right now. Well, can it obviously be an upset? Yes, obviously. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's gonna be a great series, but
whoever wins this representing the East, in my opinion.
Oh, yes.
This is going to be the best.
Well,
best series.
If Brooklyn wins and they have to see Embiid healthy, that's going to be some trouble too. Because now we're back to the same issue. You can't guard the paint. You have no one that can stop anyone at the rim. Yeah. So we back to the same issue. Now, once again, can they overcome it? Yes. It's just.
I mean, it's going to be the same thing. So if they beat the Bucks, it will be the same. It will literally be the same thing because you have two players that can play defense, and you have one player that's on the wing playing defense. Seth is not guarding nobody. Tobias is not guarding anybody. So, I mean, it's the same thing. So, as long, like I said, we'll see how they play. We'll see how they play defense. But I just don't. I don't see these teams beating the Nets. But
we got to see it unfold. But let's keep pushing because we still got Huncho and Melo to do a breakdown. Yeah, we still got a special segment.
Low key, mine gonna be super quick. So
mine too. I'm gonna be quick with mine.
Yeah.
You want me to go or you want to go? Mine. I'm gonna just say my picks.
Go for it. Go ahead.
We done already dove in and everything.
Yeah, we done discussed it. That's the whole point of the topic.
Right. As far as I'll start on the West. Y'all start on the West.
Oh my God. Phoenix
Grizzlies Jazz series, I kind of knew that was going to happen. Like Jay said, shout out to John Morant. They got something great brewing over there in Memphis. Young team. They gonna be nice soon come. I feel like if they get a couple more pieces, they gonna be solid. Clippers, Mavericks. Luka been killing them, but I feel like the Clippers, they should definitely win this series. Denver, Portland, we already saw how that played out. Suns and Lakers, Melo, I want my bottle. Let's see, what else we got? Sixers
shooting right now.
Sixers and Hawks. I'm taking, if healthy Embiid, I'm going Sixers for sure. But the Hawks got a great team. They have everybody playing on great on all cylinders. So even if Embiid is there, I still feel like they're gonna take it to. I give them Game 6.
Okay.
And then Bucks versus Nets. I ain't trying to get us back into a whole nother debate. But if I will say this, like I will say if the Nets, like kind of like Melo said, the Nets are able to play defense, that's gonna be a big point for them. Just because I don't feel like the Bucks bench is better than the Nets. So I don't know. We're gonna see. It's gonna be a great series. I'm taking the Bucks in that though. But the Nets they gotta play defense because outscoring ain't gonna do nothing in the playoffs. Melo, what you got?
I'm gonna keep it quick too. Like you said, we kind of done dove into it. Shout out. Nah, I lied. Shout out to Jazz. I'll give y'all some love. I ain't really got too much to say about the Grizzlies. Shout out to Jazz though. Luka been busting them boys up, bro, and I've been enjoying it. I've been thoroughly enjoying it, bro. You know what I mean? So, but like I said, I don't know how it's gonna end. But they gonna have to figure out a way to stop that man. As simple as that. You got Kawhi, you got Paul George. You gotta figure out a way to stop that man. I don't want to hear. There's no excuses. Y'all in the first round of the playoffs. Ain't no excuses.
Mm-hmm.
Lakers and Suns going 7. We already talked about that. I got something on the line. And then 76ers should beat the Hawks. As long as Embiid is playing, they should beat the Hawks. It'll be a good series. I can see it going up to 6. Trae Young is playing really good basketball. Hawks are playing really good basketball. Shout out to the Hawks, dude. They had a really good offseason.
Man. Shout out
they
the
had
Hawks.
a really, really good offseason. Like you said, bringing in Coach McMillan. Then you bring in two guys, Bogdanovich and or Boyan rather. No, it was Bogdan. It was Bogdan. Bogdan and Gallinari. So you bring in
and also Lou Will by the trade deadline too, man.
And Lou Will at the trade deadline. Yep. So you just look at you take that team from a young team and you add some veterans and imagine that they look like a really good team now. So shout out that series. I definitely think the 76ers should win as long as Embiid is somewhat healthy. But shout out the Hawks. Yeah, Bucks and Nets, man.
You gonna have some
Bucks. Yeah, Bucks is Bucks should be able to find a way, but like I said, it's all contingent. My X factor is the defensive play of Brooklyn Nets. If they decide to want to come out and play good defense and actually try to defend somebody, something that Steve Nash, Mike D'Antoni, and James Harden has never decided to do, then they have a really, really good, and Kyrie for that matter, then they have a really, really good chance at winning this series. Obviously, they're the more talented team, but we also know that talent doesn't always win. So it probably will go 7. I mean, this is going to be a great series.
That's going to be a battle. That's going 7 for sure.
Yeah, this is going to be a great series. I'm going to take the Bucks. If I'm wrong, will I be mad? Absolutely not. I think it'll be a great series for basketball. But I'm going to take the Bucks just off of the strength that I struggle to wrap my head around a team just trying to outscore their opponent rather than like taking any pride on defense. And I say that because they didn't do anything to even get better defensively either. Yeah, I think that's it. Wait, that was a good. Hey, man. Playoffs done brought it out of us today, bro.
Yeah, man.
Go ahead, Lance. Kick us off, bro.
All right, so y'all know what time it is. Time for the special segment, and this week we have none other than Profit or Stop It. And
yes, sir.
Y'all know how it gets. This is a segment where we all bring a segment or a take to each other, and then everybody else is going to rate it, whether it's a profit and they think it's finna happen, or that person needs to stop it and take that take somewhere else. So, who do I want to start with? Hey, Huncho, hit us off.
All right, we're gonna do a profit or stop it coming from one of the party members, on our show. Kind of just to stir some things up, and get our viewers active too. We have none other than Melo tweeted that some of y'all have never seen Larry Bird's tape and it shows. Hence him really saying that you guys disrespect Larry Bird. So from the Party Podcast, for those who disrespect this man, is it a profit or stop it that they're disrespecting him? Because somebody, please let me know. Profit or stop it. Larry Bird is...
Profit?
I'll say this. Let me ask this. Matter of fact, just going off of Melo's tweet. Could Larry Bird kill in the league today? Profit or stop it?
Profit.
Profit.
Bro, can I kick it real quick?
Come on.
So
I ain't got nothing to say. Profit.
I need you, but I need you to explain that tweet for them too, Melo. You got
So the idea behind the tweet was we was watching Luka play. Me and Aaliyah were watching Luka play, and I was explaining to her what he was doing and just some of the historical context behind it. But then I was like, this is who they somewhat compare him to. They call him Baby Bird. So, I can't say that and not bring up some highlights. So we tapped in, and I've always, I've been real respectful of Larry Bird. I mean, anybody that averages 24, 10, and 6 for their career, do I need to say more? So, but just, being able to watch the highlights again and just seeing some of his career plays and being able to look at the film again, it definitely, especially the more and listening to some of the people, the pundits, and not even more so pundits, but just some of our colleagues and whatnot, I believe that a lot of them would never take the time, especially people our age, have not taken the time to really understand and respect his greatness. There's only been 2 small forwards in the history of the NBA that's better than Larry Bird. And one is named LeBron James and one is named The Boat. So, outside of them 2, he's as good as it comes. I mean, he can score, he could rebound, he can assist, he could shoot. He was efficient. He played defense. I mean, he literally did everything. So, I ain't gonna talk too much about it. It's a profit. If Larry Bird played today, you're telling me that he wouldn't be successful is crazy, especially when guys that weren't even as good as him, i.e. Dirk Nowitzki and Luka, are able to do what they've been able to do to the league. So definitely a profit.
I guess I'll end it with a quick profit too. Y'all got to stop disrespecting that, man. It's people playing now that kind of modeled their game after Larry Bird, and I feel like people get too caught up in the fact that Larry Bird wasn't as athletic as the other players on the court.
Luka not either.
That's what I'm saying. It's people in the league now that are very slow and they still get buckets. Just to give y'all an update on this Lakers and Suns game, AD just walked off the court. So
He shouldn't have been playing.
I don't know why he played. What's the score for
I didn't know he was
Huncho?
playing.
16-7. 16-7 right now. 5:40 in the first. But yeah, profit, man. Y'all gotta quit disrespecting Larry Bird.
All right, let me ask something before we move on. Let me ask
For
something.
sure. Let's get it.
Because I said it was a profit, but like this man Melo said, y'all don't think he would come into the league and ball out, especially when the league is more is favored to offense,
Bro.
Like
Larry
we
Bird
talked about this a little
averaged
bit.
27.
We talked about this like a little bit before we started the podcast. And I was saying they could hand check back in that day, which means I'm putting my hands on you so you cannot move. A lot of these records are being broke because you can't play defense like how you used to play defense. You can't just take a man out the air. Every time I see a call and they be calling it flagrant, I be like, what?
He's like, I wish I could have played these times.
Man.
I would have played 20 years.
Man.
Let him play in them times.
I would have played 20 years playing in this era.
That man would have averaged 34, 12, and...
Probably 9. He averaged 6 in his time.
Trip dub every night.
But yeah, that's definitely a profit.
Who next, bro?
Who you kicking it to?
Let's kick it out to Jay-Tay. What you got?
All right, so I got some boxing. My profit to stop it.
Okay,
so,
let's get it.
I know recently we've been talking about just Mayweather and the fight and everything. Well, one of the Paul brothers came out and he said that he wants to. I don't know which one. I really don't know what they're famous for, but it's truly entertaining. YouTube. Yeah, I'm super entertained by it. But one of them was calling out Conor McGregor and trying to set up a fight with Conor McGregor. So my profit or stop it to y'all is should the Paul brothers
don't say it.
Are the Paul brothers good for boxing or are they good for boxing? Profit or stop
I
it.
thought you were gonna say something else. I guess I'll go. I'm gonna go stop it, bro. I'm gonna go stop it because I feel like every single fight, I feel like it's good for the aspect of just because boxing is starting to fall off. So with them, I guess having their fan base, they're continuing to bring that attraction to boxing. But I think it's bad because just to see what boxing was and where boxing was, when we were talking about boxing a while ago, boxing used to be seen as up there with like football and like those big time sports. It's not looked at like that anymore. So I feel like when they bring these celebrities into the ring, which that's what Jake Paul and whoever, what's his brother? I don't know his brother's name.
Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Logan.
When they how they got their claim to fame, I think they started off as like YouTube sensations or like on some type of social media. Internet sensation.
They were the early YouTubers that were vlogging before vlogging became like real popular and everybody started making a living off of it. They were like one of the like that first wave.
Yeah, so they're people that they have their platform or whatever. So I feel like when you bring those celebrities and these people that have those platforms, it makes a mockery to me of the sport. I feel like at that point you're not even watching. They just doing this for money. I feel like you're not even watching the sport now, like in excitement to watch the sport. Now boxing has gotten to the point where, when these big time celebrities do these fights, they go 12 rounds every single time. Fans sitting there watching, anticipating a knockout. Like, you're taking the fun away from the sport. That's just my personal opinion. I was never a fan of this from the jump. Boxing needs to go back to what it was. Me growing up, I saw Floyd fight, in his prime. So it was always a big thing to watch Floyd's fights. And when he was in his prime, Floyd fights were amazing to watch. And I feel like that was like the last great era of boxing that we kind of saw when it was him and Pacquiao, kind of at the top of their game. I feel like that was the last great era of boxing we saw. And then it slowly transitioned into this, more so, I guess, money related thing. I don't really agree with it. So I'm gonna go stop it. They're not good for boxing.
All right, let me kick it real quick. Let me kick it. You want to?
Yeah, Lamp. Go ahead.
So, this is the thing. It is what you so-call what is good for boxing. Like whatever you define as good for boxing, and it could be different ways because what's good for the TV companies and boxing as a whole league is money. So anything that brings money to the realm is good for boxing. But if you're talking about the fans of boxing, and I feel like with us, we're a different generation. Because people like us knew what boxing was before the evolution of social media. And when I say evolution of social media, the evolution of social media is that people are taking notice, because when social media came out, people were just using it to stay in touch with friends and talk and communicate. What people have noticed that social media is a big pot. It's a big melting pot for cultures. So the Paul brothers, not necessarily being from boxing culture, can use social media to bring their fans and to put themselves into boxing culture, because they have fans, they have a following. And I can show you myself, I can show you that I have all these people that are following me, and that I can at least box. I can show you all this, and that gives you an incentive to let me box. I can box Floyd now because you guys know you guys are going to make a ton of money because of my following, because of Floyd's following, and because people will come watch it.
Wait, before you keep going, Labs, just to interject a little bit. As far as the money goes, boxing is at its all-time high as far as how much money it has in it right now. So the money ain't the issue. Money ain't the issue.
I'm not saying money's the issue. What I'm saying is we can continue to make money. Like, all the money we pull in is just profit for us. It's just pros. So
what's the point of making all that money if you ain't going, you at that point you just making money for it though? Like, you ain't really promoting the sport. You just taking the money.
Because who cares about the sport if we just making the money? What is the sport here for? For us to make money.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, but think about it in a basketball standpoint too. Would you think the same way if it was basketball that you was talking about like this?
Yes, because this is the thing. And I'm saying, I'm not saying this is my opinion. I'm saying,
no, I got you. Yeah.
For the NBA, a lot of the stuff the NBA does is because they're going to get money from it. The play-ins became a thing because we're going to make money from it.
Oh, I thought, my bad. I did think you were saying it from your opinion. For sure, I see what you're saying.
It helps us get our revenue. And that's what we made this league for, is to generate revenue. So the same thing with boxing. Whatever is going to generate revenue, that's what we're going to lean towards. It doesn't matter if the old heads that loved boxing and the way it was, it don't matter if y'all don't like it or not, because we're still making money. Because somebody's going to be willing to watch it.
But how long do you think that's gonna last until it because that's not gonna last like that forever, bro.
It's not. But as long as it's working, we're not going to deviate from it. When it stops working, they're going to try to scramble to find something new or find something else that is going to start generating that same revenue. But as long as we're making money right now, we don't care.
It's hand in hand destroying the sport.
And they don't care. That happens with a lot of stuff. People will destroy the origins of something because it's making them money at that moment. And that's just my opinion of it. I feel like it's not good for people who are actually into boxing and want to see exciting fights. But the people who tune in from social media because they love Logan Paul or because they hate Floyd Mayweather are still going to tune in and watch it, whether it's a good fight or not. And that's what they're looking for. All they want you to do is to watch. If you watch, we did our job. So it's good for boxing in that standpoint. So this still puts me in a tough binding spot. My opinion is to stop it, but I feel like in general, it's a profit because I don't know, they're making all the money and all the revenue that they need, which is good and which is what they want. But I'll pass it to Jay. Go ahead.
I'm profiting. It's profit for me because players, tennis players, basketball players, football players, they sell the league. And I like good trash talking, especially in boxing. I love trash talking in boxing. I'm one of the people who I critique boxing a lot differently from the average person. So I'm looking at footwork. I'm looking at how many misses it is. I'm counting that type of stuff. So, you know, I'm going to watch the sport for what it is. But I absolutely love trash talking, especially in boxing. Like, I feel like the reason why a lot of people hate Trae Young, especially in New York, and a lot of the reasons why we talked about why we love him is because it brings a different intensity. So that's just my thing. Like I said, you know, it's all a business. We all understand that. We talk about that the most, but I just think it's a profit because I think the best things in sports, you need villains in sports. I feel like the reason why Golden State is what was so popular is because they were loved, but they were so hated by everybody because they were so good. I always think of Kurt Angle. Like, everybody always like, you suck, and people hated Kurt Angle. But I freaking love Kurt Angle because he was the villain. Like, he was just the villain of wrestling. So I feel like you need those personalities in the sport. But I'm with Huncho, you know what I'm saying? If it continues to take away, we saw him knock out Nate Robinson, you know what I'm saying? But now we seeing them go up against boxers. So put your money where your mouth is. So I'll pass it to Melo.
I'm going to say stop it. I'm not really a fan of it, kind of going off of what Van said. I think you make a mockery of the sport. You're relying on YouTube stars to carry the sport of boxing right now. Like, I don't think that's a good look. I think over time, it's going to be more to their detriment instead of the little money that they're getting from it. It's going to be to their detriment. It's weird because, like, you don't, like, even this, like, situation, like, you don't see this with the NBA. You can't. Regular people that is just YouTubers that want to play basketball don't get opportunities to just go and get exhibition games against NBA players. Because the NBA ain't funding that crap. They're like, because it's still a level of it means something to still be in the NBA. You hear these NBA players talk about it's a fraternity to be in the NBA. You know, it's only 400 of those jobs, so I think there's still a level of integrity that the sport needs to try to uphold. But if they want to try to separate this from boxing and do this as its own little sideshow, that'd be one thing. But I don't think it's a good thing when boxing is promoting it. I think it makes a mockery of those that actually go in and put in work every single day that got to the professional level. Rather than just being YouTube sensations. But
yeah.
Before we move on to the next thing, and I would for that reason, that's why I would say it's good. My thing is boxing is competing with football, with basketball, with the NBA now going to the African League, to Africa to have an entire league. You know what I'm saying? So this sport is competing with that. And how do you do that in a world full of TikTokers, in a world full of YouTubers? You know what I'm saying? You draw that out of people. So like Lamp said, you know, it just brings the business side out of it. And honestly, I'm not against, if you want to get in there with a boxer and you want to get knocked out, I'm all for a good KO or a good TKO. So I mean, hey, I'm here for it. But I definitely feel what y'all talk about the integrity. But I just think boxing is really competing. Like we're even on the verge, and we haven't even talked about that on here. But we're on the verge of people saying that we all recognize, especially for the majority of our lives, as football, well, maybe baseball in the 90s was America's sport, but it's been football for majority of the time. And now people are having arguments to say that different sports are better for, you know, viewership for whatever reason. So I just feel like, you know, it just gives them an opportunity to compete with those upper echelon leagues for sure. Even the UFC. The UFC is a lot bigger than boxing it is technically. So, you know, you're competing with a lot of different sports.
Like I said, the only thing that scares me is you when you start messing with the integrity of a sport, it goes downhill quickly. I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna deny it's gonna be short-term gain, but you don't see Joe Schmoes getting into the rest or into the UFC in any other sport. You don't see this stuff, these type of things happening, and I think that's for a reason. like I said, if they want to do something separate from boxing and not have boxing promoting this thing, that'd be one thing. But I just think over time, they're gonna regret this period of these little fights that they had just because they're clinging like. And maybe it is because they're in a good place, but they're not in a good place. Because if you're in a good place, when Floyd and all them was fighting and all the heavyweights was fighting, this wouldn't even get this wouldn't even come on now.
But that was also. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say they'll be looking at this stuff like, man, if you don't get this clown stuff out of here, because it's real dudes that work hard to get to the elite level, and those dudes that feel like it's a slap in the face. So, like I said, I'm not necessarily mad at it. I mean, honestly, I can genuinely, in words of Kobe Bryant, I can sincerely care less. But it just, to me, as a person that, if I'm a fan of the sport, I would be hesitant on how many of these little events that keep coming out. Because I'd much rather see the elite of the sport rather than some celebrities trying to fight.
But that's the thing. That's the thing with boxing, and it's the most different from any other sport. You don't even draw big tickets until you like in your 20th to like 25th fight. You know what I'm saying? So in boxing, it's harder to draw that big ticket and to be a main event. You know what I'm saying? So they have these celebrities to do that, to throw that in there. Because my thing is, y'all probably can't even name 5 boxers like anybody can if you don't really watch the sport, because they're not really drawing that attention until they're 14-0 or 13-0.
Isn't that some of boxing's fault?
I'm just talking about in general. That's just how it works. You know what I'm saying? In the NBA, you could be a sensation in college, get drafted, and you can draw attention from that standpoint. And like you said, a lot of that is the league selling its people. So yeah, I definitely agree. But I'm just saying, in that capacity, it's just different from every other sport.
Well, if we can't say it, I'm gonna close out on this. We can't say that if it is different. Remember, it's not competing with the other in pro leagues. Then it's its own entity if it's different. Then, because no other leagues can even fathom doing this type of thing. Whereas, like I said, I think the one thing I think boxing needs to do is promote more of those up and coming guys, right? Like you said,
I agree.
I remember they used to be you would always
Friday nights. It used to be boxing. Yup, every Friday. You don't get that no more.
You could always. I remember as a kid, anytime I'd be flipping through channels, I'm always seeing boxing on one of these channels.
Yeah, that's true.
Not without and so, to me, like I said, there's other ways that are more sustainable to get your brand and get boxing. I guess, especially with the passing of Muhammad Ali, the 5-year anniversary passing. Just
shout
recently.
out! I'm glad you said that. Yeah, it's today.
Muhammad Ali, shout out Muhammad Ali. I think of dudes like that really put on for the sport, man. It just make me be like, dang, man, because I would be disappointed if in 25 years and I'm an old head and I'm watching the NBA and it's a mockery. I'm like, man, Steph Curry and Kobe and Jordan and LeBron didn't do all this for these, you know what I mean? But like I said, that's a whole nother. That's a boxing topic.
Let me interject real quick, because there is a reason boxing is a little different, and these other sports, you have like being elite is like it makes the league what it is. But like I watched a little face off between Floyd and Logan, I guess he's taking this serious. Like he takes boxing serious now, and he doesn't consider himself a YouTuber anymore. So as long as you, like with boxing, as long as you're training and you train enough, all you have to do is survive. And you get your check. No matter how whatever the crowd feels about it or the audience feels about it, if you survive, you get your check. And if you look professional out there, you can get another fight. With the other leagues and stuff, it's hard. You get a 10-day contract and you don't perform up to par, you're done. You're out. But as long as you could... Exactly. As long as you survived and gave the people something to watch, you can still make a living in boxing.
Like I said, that's just a scary road to start going down.
Yeah,
and I understand.
That act as professionals, becoming the dudes that are the main. It's just a dangerous game.
And I definitely understand.
That's the only. I get it. It's a short term game right now. Like it's not like you said. They're gonna grab onto the next money grab. Like I get that. I'm just saying. I hope this is just a quick little stop. This ain't. It's unsustainable. It's just unsustainable. They got to reinvest into trying to get the big name guys the way that they were, not a bunch of dudes that, for lack better terms. I mean, they're not. Yeah, that's a whole other topic. So.
Well, yeah. That, like I said, this is something good. I definitely think we should definitely dive in boxing a lot more. But yeah, let's keep it pushing. I did that last one, so go ahead, Melo. You keep going.
That was
Profit or stop it. So, reporters came out that Chris Paul is looking to opt out of his contract. Profit or stop it. We will finally see Chris Paul and a LeBron pairing together. Profit or stop it. Let's see. Oh, go ahead then, Jay-Tay. Don't worry about it. Go ahead.
I'm just gonna say stop it because Schroeder talking about he want $100 million. If they got money, they just need to use it to enhance what they have. That window's closing on LeBron. We talked about his fatigue and everything, so they just need to try to build a better team. And no shade to Chris Paul at all, but we seen it. You don't want. They calling AD street clothes now. I mean, you don't want Chris Paul and AD to put all that into them, and then they get injured or something. So I just think they could use their money better, and that's the only reason why I say stop it. And Chris Paul shouldn't opt out of almost $40 million at 35 plus years old. But that's just me. So I just say stop it for that reason. I'll toss it to Lamb.
All right, so that's interesting. I feel like it would take two reasons for him to do that, and it could become a profit. If the Lakers get tossed out and CP3 and the Suns get tossed out, neither one of those teams win a ring, I could see this potentially happening. Because like you said, Schroeder wants what? Boy, you just had a goose egg. Get out of here.
Yep, he just turned down $84 million.
Exactly. Get out of here. We can get Chris Paul. Even if this stunt is for like 2 years, test it out. See if we can get a ring, because that's the last thing CP3 wants to do is get a ring. And LeBron wouldn't mind having him there. So, I mean, injury prone, that's the thing, but that didn't stop them from getting AD. AD was injury prone before the fact. Everybody knew that. Didn't stop them from getting AD. So, I feel like this could be a profit, especially if both teams don't get a ring. Like, if the Lakers get a ring, I don't see CP3 trying to go and join them. Vice versa, if the Suns get a ring, I don't see CP3 leaving or opting out of his deal because, like you said, that's $40 million. So, I'ma still lean towards profit. I could see it happening, but it's too early to tell for me. But I'm gonna go with profit. Huncho, go ahead.
I'm gonna keep mine short. I'm gonna go stop it. I feel like it's too late in their careers personally. I feel like this was something that should have happened earlier. Like Jay mentioned, the Lakers are already dealing with Dennis Schroeder.
He's a free agent this year. Don't forget that.
He's a free agent, yeah.
That is true.
I just don't see them wasting $40 million.
I don't see it neither. That's a lot of money, bro. Especially
the report is out. The report is out.
No. I seen that report for sure. And you know how this LeBron league, they'll try to get him now. I think it would be bad on Jeannie Buss's part. You just won a championship, and we just talked about like the injuries and stuff. So it's like I'm not gonna count them out, but I just with everything going on. But I just think they need to spend their money a lot wiser, and we'll see. But I'm with you. I seen that report for sure. I seen that report.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm gonna go stop it. So, Melo, what you think?
I'm gonna go Prophet. It's super early. It's a big risk, but I'll go Prophet. Why not? Because of the reasons that y'all said. Schroeder's on his way out the door. If you can get a guy like a Chris Paul, they were willing to. I mean, who was their point guard just last year in the bubble?
Rondo.
Right.
So
if you can get him just to do a Rondo type role, I mean, that's better than you just gotta get him to the playoffs.
Because that's the
They
thing.
need to get Lonzo.
LeBron teams struggle when there's nobody else who can run the offense besides LeBron. So having Chris Paul there,
You just gotta be the second unit. You ain't even gotta start him. I mean, they will, but it'll be that's gonna be interesting though. It's definitely gonna be interesting. I definitely want to bring that to the table.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that because that brings me to my point.
Okay.
Fellas, profit or stop it. All of Staples Centers will be out in the first round. All of the Staples Center will be out in the first round. We will see no more Staples Center games.
Stop it.
I'm gonna go stop it. I'm gonna go stop it too.
We will see no more Staples Center games after this first round.
I'm already stopping. I'm good. I'm just saying stop it.
I'm going to stop
Y'all know
it only
I like
because
to be
of the
bold.
Clippers.
Y'all
I'm
know
only
I
gonna
like to be
stop it because
bold.
of the Clippers. One Staples Center team finna get out tonight. So
For your sake, you better hope so.
Yeah, I'm gonna go stop it too. I ain't really got much to say. Only because like I know I do this every year. Y'all know I'm a true testament to this. I don't want to count out the Clippers, but like I said, I don't care if I'm wrong. I don't care if I'm wrong, but I don't want to count them out. I don't.
Hey.
I know, Melo. I know. Go ahead.
what's up, bro? Go ahead, say it. Spit it out, bro.
Well, looks like we in a double or nothing, and we're getting nothing. So good doing business with you, Van.
What happened to Brian?
It's a profit lap.
It's a profit.
It's a profit.
What happened to Brian, Melo?
Wait, bro. You just
Oh,
said
it's a
stop
profit,
it.
bro?
You had no more to say, bro. You just said, bro, this was a minute ago. This man said, stop it. I have nothing more to say. Now it's a profit? Let me know, bro. Let me know. Show me something.
You'll see. I'll show you something.
Whoa.
45-18.
Golly!
Update.
I just seen it, bro.
The Lakers only have 18 points.
Devin
and
Booker has 22.
the Suns have 45.
Devin Booker has 22, and the Lakers have 18. So.
Bro, it's 45-18.
Bro,
I'm
Devin Booker
screaming
has
in y'all
more.
ears. I'm sorry, bro, but
Devin Booker has more points than the whole.
They playing
Lakers
2K
team.
on Pro, bro. I'm done.
Chill out.
I'm done.
Hey man, like I said, bro, we gonna see. I had a feeling these boys. I had a feeling these boys was going home tonight. I
I will say this is a poor
It's
I'm
still a
with
lot
you,
of time left, bro.
No, this game's over. I'm with
It's
you.
not
Like, when they put this team together, we both were like, I don't know why they're excited about this. Like, you got a dude that they openly let walk, and Schroeder came in demanding to be the point guard.
Bro, I thought
shit,
they were gonna have
that-
trouble.
that was wild.
bro.
That was wild.
Golly. They getting
So,
flip.
So wait, guys, there will be no more Staple games played. No more Staples Center
profit.
games played.
You're a prophet.
All right.
I'm gonna still
Just-
go
just
stop
wanted to
it,
know.
Go against the grain. I like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm wrong.
Dang.
I'm sorry, LA.
Yikes.
I love
All right.
LA.
Well, is that
That's a wrap, bro.
And that
Yeah,
wraps
then
up
you
the
gonna
show.
On a sour note.
End on that, bro.
We're gonna end on a sour note.
Hey, sorry for me. Look, listen. Y'all know how I really feel.
You back
about,
at square one?
Hey, the Bulls ain't winning no
Nah, you know
championship,
how-
so I don't
you
care.
know
I just
how
want to see
I really
good basketball.
I am not mad that. Never mind, 'cause I don't want to sound like a hater, but I am not mad. So
You're gonna
Hey,
sound
man.
like one, bro. Don't even say it.
I just seen a lot of hype. I seen a lot of hype for no reason.
They getting bust.
I will admit,
Man, let's get into them shout outs, man. Oh, wait, Melo.
Yeah,
go
I
ahead.
will admit. I will admit I was wrong. I said the Lakers with pretty much sweep these boys. And granted, that was with them healthy, but I thought they could do it without them healthy. So, anywho, I was wrong.
Wait. We don't know what's gonna happen.
There's time left, man. Have faith in your pick, bro. What you giving up so early for?
It's not even halftime yet. We'll see what happens.
Kuzma just hit a 3, and they just got 2 more points. Now it's 48-24.
Okay. Well, shout out, Flyyr Pop in the gang. Flyyr Pop. Let's get it going. You know, shout out, freaking Flyers. You already know what time it is.
Yes,
I know y'all got someone up y'all.
Oh yeah, we brewing.
Oh yeah, you got something coming. So be on the lookout. Shout out, man. You got to remind me the new company name, Huncho.
Norris Vision.
The Vision of Norris Vision. Shout out my guy, Mr. Norris Vision. Shout out Jay-Tay for being the GOAT. Shout out Aaliyah Cherry Photography. And shout out the fam. You know, my mom, my grandma, Aaliyah's aunt, man, Aaliyah's mom. I mean, everyone that's done helped us. As far as, you know, pitching in, as far as in the house and everything. So thank you guys. We really appreciate it. Just want to take some time to really thank you guys. Yeah, seriously. Shout out them, bro. That's them. It is not us. It is 100% them. So shout out to you guys. You guys are the real MVPs. And so, yeah. Who next? Flyyr Pop.
Who you passing it? Pass it off.
Oh, yeah.
Devin Booker, boy.
Yeah, my bees. Go ahead, Lamp.
Alright, like Melo said, shout out to the guys. Y'all boys. Nah, hey man, chill out. Y'all boys make this a show every week. So shout out to y'all. Y'all boys, shout out Aaliyah Cherry Photography. You already know where to get the headshots. Shout out Norris Vision. You know what's up. You might need some goggles to see the vision.
Hey, price going up. Y'all better quit playing. Price going up.
And you know, shout out Flyyr Pop. Shout out Flyyr Pop Gaming. You already know what's up.
Shout out Telly Bob.
It's going up. Hey, I was gonna say that. So, shout out Jay, my man. He always has an endeavor going.
Yeah, Jay gonna be worldwide here in a minute, so
just wait on it. Wait on it. And shout out Frequent Flyers, and that's my music duo. You ever hear the intro or the ending of the podcast? That's me and my boy. So shout out Frequent Flyers, FREEQUENT. Go tune in. Like, we really got some stuff brewing. So shout out to the squad.
Can we do a Frequent Flyer interview?
Said, shout out Telly Bob. If y'all have seen, we're doing a giveaway, $200 giveaway. Make sure you're following the Sports Party Podcast. Make sure you're following Flyyr Pop, and make sure you're following Telly Bob, and get in for some free money. Get in and get in on this giveaway. So y'all already know the deal. And last but not least, shout out to all of y'all who are tuning in. Say this every week. We're not doing this without y'all. Y'all the reason we doing this. So shout out everybody who tuning in. Go ahead, Jay.
Man, shout out to me breathing. Blessed to wake up this morning. Blessed to continue to do this every single week. Nice. Thank God and Jesus Christ my Savior. So thank you. Yes, just shout out to my little cousin Anon. He listens to us every week. He just graduated high school today. So shout out to my little cousin for sure. I definitely had to shout him out. And shout out y'all, man. Shout out Remy. Behind the scenes, always getting us together. And shout out you fellas, man. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all for everything that you do. Keeping this show running, and just keeping me motivated as well, to continue to strive and be greater. So shout out to y'all, man, and I'll leave it at that. Shout out to my mama. Love you, mom.
Hey.
Go ahead, Huncho.
Yes, sir, man. The guys pretty much said the shout outs already, man. Shout out to everybody tuning in. make sure y'all tune in for Telebob, man. We got something big coming up. Like D-Lamp said, we got a free date coming. So y'all better pay attention. Make sure y'all know what's going on. Stay in tune.
Like, comment, and share, y'all. Get on the Instagram, man. We want y'all on there.
Do that. You don't want to miss this. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to all the boys on here. Shout out Flyyr Pop. Who else? Shout out to my niece. It's her birthday today. Happy birthday, Yana.
Happy birthday, Yana.
Hey.
Happy birthday.
Who else? Shout out, Norris Vision. Got some big things coming. Just had some good news come today, so it's gonna be some great things coming in store. Just trying to keep staying on course, staying progressive. Like Jay said, just happy to be breathing, man. Happy to be here, man. So shout out to y'all. Appreciate y'all for listening. And it's a wrap.
Hey, episode 12.
Another episode of the Party Podcast. You know what's up. Like party the fella said, party out.
Hey, gang. Flyyr Pop.
All right.